One of the most exciting surprises that we've gotten all week was finding out that Indiana Jones, the full reveal, was coming at this year's Developer Direct that's taking place in just under a week. Something myself, and I know many others, were not expecting to hear about anytime soon. Although, based on some new things, maybe we should have. We'll talk about exactly what in just a bit. How is it going, everybody? My name is DeMarco, and today we're unspooling all the conversation that's been going around. Today we're unraveling all the conversations that have been going around Indiana Jones. We're gonna put them all here right nicely in one place for you. With all the rumors, the speculation, the news, what you can expect from the upcoming showcase, and some more. So stay tuned for that. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. Love having you guys on board. Let me know your thoughts at any point down in the comment section below. With that, let's get into it. Let's start off with exactly what to expect at the Developer Direct from Indiana Jones. This is coming from official channels, from Xbox's official blog, where they stated, Indiana Jones, you can expect 10 minutes of game plus developer insights, setting, story info, how fans play as Indy, which I think I know exactly what that means. We'll dive into a bit later, as well as a brand new gameplay trailer for Indiana Jones. And no doubt along with that will be a release date. I'm sure there's going to be the question of whether or not this will be directly 10 minutes of footage, or if it's going to be a mix, if they're going to do the commentary and then end off the night with a gameplay trailer for Indiana Jones showing the full reveal, and of course that release date. I'd rather expect less and get more in this situation than the other way around. That being said, if we did just get a single trailer at the end, it'd probably be a little bit boring to watch 7 minutes of talking and a 3-minute trailer at the end. If Machine Games, you listening? Whole 10 minutes, just fill it up with, just show the whole thing, everything, all of it, just put it all out there. That's what I'm hoping for. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Machine Games tried to model this conference after what Bethesda Game Studios did with the Starfield Direct. For those of you who don't remember, the Starfield Direct featured a lot of creators within Bethesda, a lot of developers there in the spotlight. So they were doing the interviews, they were talking about the roles that they've had, and it was something that was well received both by Bethesda and by fans such as myself. I liked hearing from those people. So I think most of us can imagine they're showing the concept art, they're going through, telling us the story of what's been going on with Indy, because of course, this game takes place between Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, so maybe fill us in what Jonesy's been up to. And then after all is said and done, they hit us with the gameplay trailer and the release date, and we all walk away excited knowing that it's coming sometime this year. Now, one of the curious lines that stood out from all of this was specifically when they say how you play as Indy. Initially, I didn't really pay this any mind, but I thought about it, started looking back at some of the rumors that we've heard and some of the official comments coming from Todd Howard, and I think it makes a little bit more sense now. A leak from Sheepshell Nick, I hope I'm saying that right, in an Xbox Era podcast that took place about 6 months ago now, he actually mentioned that Indiana Jones was going to be a combination of first and third person. Have a listen for yourself.
Now, I don't know if this is finalized or not. I don't know if this is because the game I think is still quite a bit away. From what I've been told, from what I've heard, just a rumor, from what I've heard, it's going to be both. Not like Starfield, where you get to pick, but there'll be specific, as far as I'm aware, there'll be specific sections. Some will be third, some will be first.
Now, naturally, he did cover himself, right? Slid in there that things can change during development, which is true. It might have been that way at one time. It might be different now, but it also goes well with some comments we've heard officially from Todd Howard during the Lex Friedman podcast. Todd Howard explicitly mentioned that Indiana Jones,
it is a mashup. It is a unique, it isn't one thing intentionally. So it does a lot of different things. It's a unique thing.
As for what that means, maybe combat and the shooting is done in first person, because of course that is what Machine Games is known for, stellar first person shooting combat. And then maybe the action, adventure, exploration parts are done in third, offering some customization options for Indiana Jones, dress him up, change his hat, that sort of thing. Although if you mess with Indiana Jones's hat, you and I are gonna have a serious talk. Do you like this hybrid perspective idea? You don't like this hybrid perspective idea? Just curious how it might work. Let me know what you're thinking about it down in the comments. But let's dive into some of the other rumors that we haven't yet talked about, specifically this one involving the release date. I've been saying that we're gonna get a release date, Why am I so confident? Well, Shinobi took to Reset Era to someone who said pretty much the exact same thing. He replied stating, if you knew when the game was releasing, you wouldn't be so surprised. Now, of course, that doesn't mean too much, whether it's coming the first part of the year or the latter half of the year, who's to say? It simply gives me the implication that it's coming a lot sooner, that this could very well be an announcement coming from Machine Games to say, hey, yeah, it's actually coming in just a couple months, similar to what Bethesda Game Studios has typically liked to do in the past, that they haven't really done with their past 2 releases. So Machine Games picking up the slack for them. Xbox and Microsoft have been clear. They stated that they wanted one major first-party release on Game Pass at least per quarter, and Indiana Jones really neatly fits within a lot of the other releases coming. So from Xbox this year alone, we can expect Ark 2, Flight Simulator 2024, Indiana Jones, Hellblade 2, and Avowed. Now, as for where each of these gets placed on that calendar, it's hard to say. Also, keep in mind we have this timed exclusive. I know it's not first party, but we have the timed exclusive with Stalker 2 that's coming in the beginning of the year as well, Q1 2024. Some have even speculated that that could be the Shadow drop. I don't think so, as much as I think it would be awesome to see, but there you go. I digress. Anyway, Indiana Jones. I very strongly feel, as for my personal prediction, that Indiana Jones can be a Q2 2024 release date, sometime in May even. Why in May? I hear you, intelligent viewer, asking. That's a phenomenal question. May also happens to be the 40th anniversary of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And now typically I don't really like to try to pair anniversaries and other things and upcoming announcements with whatever a game studio is doing. If you remember, a lot of people in the past were expecting that Indiana Jones would have its full reveal right around when the Dial of Destiny was going to be coming out, because those two would help market one another. Of course, I said no, and that turned out to be the case. So I never like to put too much faith in that, but this one absolutely seems plausible. And again, I can't shake from my head Shinobi saying if you knew when it was releasing, makes me think it's sooner rather than later. I also accidentally left 33 Immortals and Towerborn off of that first party list. Xbox, they just have a stellar year that's coming. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But those are smaller releases that can kind of fit around the bigger ones. I do genuinely believe that Indiana Jones is the big release. It's not every day that you get to work with a licensed Lucasfilm title. That's pretty special. Good on Machine Games for getting this opportunity. The more I think about it, the more awesome it is. I love that studio. Now on to the last rumor that I have for all of you today, and that's the official name for Indiana Jones and the Giant Circles. Great Circle. Sorry, Indiana Jones and the Great Circles. That's what it actually is. This was discovered by Twitter user Caraxis. Caraxis noticed that there were a bunch of trademarks coming from Lucasfilm and a lot of domains that were being registered by them under that title. Therefore, makes pretty good sense, actually. In fact, if you go back to the teaser trailer that we received back in 2021, you'll find that that's the book that is lying predominantly on Indiana Jones's table. You have Ancient Circles Jubilee 2nd edition by Todd Howard. You get a clear reference to this is probably what they were trying to tease. The name of the game, it's by Todd Howard, who is executive producing the title. 2nd edition even makes sense when you take it within the context that this is not the first time Todd Howard has tried to pitch an Indiana Jones game.
I had pitched Lucas, I had met some people there and pitched them back in 2009 this Indiana Jones game concept. They wanted to publish, kind of the deal fell apart. They wanted to publish it, and we were a publisher.
So Indiana Jones and the Great Circles, if you don't know what that is, a Great Circle is something that goes the longest route around the entirety of a circumference. If you slice a circle, a sphere in half, you get a Great Circle, and it's also the shortest traveling point between two distances. Who says gaming can't be educational? And that really nicely brings us into looking back at this 2021 trailer, what we do know about the game, but more pertinently, for me at least, is the questions that I hope to have answered about the game during this conference. And the biggest questions on my mind are definitively, how is the first person or the third person camera going to work? What perspective is it? And what is the world like? Is it going to be an open world experience where you are traveling around? Will it take some inspiration from, for example, Wolfenstein 2, where you're able to pick the destinations that you wanted to land at, you do a mission in a semi-open environment there, and then you return back to sort of a home base of sorts? Or is it going to be strictly located in Rome? We saw the Belvedere Courtyard and the Vatican Library, for example, during this teaser trailer. Other locations that were teased were also Cairo and Mesopotamia, so are we going to be visiting across the world? The other major question, I'm very curious about this one, is whether or not they're going to use Harrison Ford's likeness, and if so, are they going to find an impersonator to voice act the character? I would like to think so. I'm pretty confident this is meant to be a canonical entry between the first, or technically the second chronologically, and the third film. So to avoid any Avengers type situation, when Marvel's Avengers came out and you saw that people were just a little bit jarred by the appearances of some of the characters, how Captain America and Iron Man, Bruce Banner, so on and so forth all looked, it was a little bit jarring. So I think the right decision would be to make it look like Harrison Ford. Doubly so if it's meant to be canonical to the films. It's the only thing that makes sense, but we'll see that answered when we get some gameplay. All in all, this is shaping up to be a very, very cool conference coming from Xbox, with 4 first-party titles, all of which fans are looking forward to at least one of them: Hellblade, Avowed, Indiana Jones, and of course Aura for very big strategy fans. There's a lot here to look forward to, and it's a good thing after some of the recent rumors that have been circulating about first-party titles going to third-party platforms that have gotten a lot of Xbox gamers upset. So this will hopefully turn some of that conversation around for the better. Anyway, what are you looking forward to most at this conference? What question do you want to have answered about Indiana Jones? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, I hope to see you all next time. So long, everybody.